I welcome you listeners and viewers of Platform for Boychild by Grandma Rose. The topic today is, why do more men die compared to women? I have noticed that in my neighborhood, we are burying more men than women. And it got alarming in a way that I had to talk with groups of men. I meet with groups of men, one known as Community Men Empowerment, made of elderly men. The other three, one is registered, the others are informal. So I posed this question to them. I am finding that more men are dying compared to the women. What is happening? And so we started counting. Because it is our neighborhood, we know exactly who has died and who is being buried. And so we took a distance of about 2.5 to 3 kilometers. We went back 2.5 years. I think we were doing that in 2020 or 2019. And in the span of 2 to 3 years, how many men had died? We went from one home to the other. And we counted the men. And it was alarming because we counted 5, 10, 20, 30. We ended up 35 men that had been buried in 2.5 to 3 kilometers. We counted the women that had died in the same location. And it was so shocking because only 3 women had died during that time period. One was elderly. She died of old age. The other 2 ladies who were much younger died of cancer. These are natural causes. 3 women compared to the 35 men who had died in the same amount of time. So what is killing the men? What is killing the boy child? Do we have to bury the boy child like that? Should we allow this to happen seriously where we live? This being our children, and this being our spouses, and this being our fathers and our brothers? What is eating them and what is killing them? I do not want to give the diagnosis, but one thing that we noticed is that these men, there was a connection between their death and their lifestyle. What do I mean by lifestyle? Are they used to drinking alcohol? Are they used to pushing drugs? Are they used to an active lifestyle where they work with their minds and their bodies, or are they just idle? And we realized that most of them, they were into drugs and they were into alcohol. And they had also gone to the extent of neglecting themselves and choosing alcohol and drugs over a healthy lifestyle. And we realized that men have started a habit. We started seeing the habit of men congregating together. And there is a tendency also that these men are there like every day. Some of them are there from morning until evening, actually doing nothing. This is not known in our culture. Our men, they never used to waste a whole day. Our men never used to stick together and to be together and to spend a whole day today, tomorrow, and the other day. Our men were used to working and supervising the work that was done wherever, because they were the ones who were in charge. This tendency has brought something else. The boy child is not eating properly. Whenever I go to my small town, I hear some of the men greeting me and tell me, "Grandma Rose, can you give me 50 shillings? 50 shillings because I want to buy something to eat." And I'm going like, why does he need 50 shillings for something to eat? Why can't this boy child go and eat at home? Why should he stay where he is, stuck there, going hungry, doing nothing? Men don't ask for handouts. Men usually, in our custom, they don't borrow money, especially from women. So I pose the question. I am a farmer. I grow tomatoes. I sell milk. Am I going to work at my age and bring you the money? And they laugh. If you want to work, come, I'll give you work and then I'll give you money. At my age, I don't think I should be working for you, only for you to wait for me here to get the money. It's not funny. And I do not even want to demean them. But I wanted to put a spirit of being independent, a spirit of respecting themselves in them. When they get that 50 shillings, how do they use it? Most likely, they'll not use it on food. They'll use it on something else. They'll use it on alcohol, or they'll use it on drugs, and they'll not eat. What is amazing is that in most circumstances, there is food at home. That if they just go back home, lunchtime, there is some food there. Why are they denying to go back home just to eat something so that they can have some energy? Why are they choosing to stay there the whole day? When you neglect your body and you don't give it food, then there are things that happen. Let's compare the ladies, the women, and the men. Why are the women not dying? I believe the reason why women are living longer and not dying at such a higher rate is because one thing, they are not putting those substances in their bodies. If it is your mother or your wife or your sister, look at them, see how many of them are into alcohol and into drugs. See how many of them are chewing mirror because they are not. How many of them are putting tobacco under your lip? We don't find such kind of lifestyle with the women. What are the women doing? The women are busy. Their minds are busy working something. Their hands are busy working something. They are either doing the physical work or they are doing the mental work. What do the women do after that? They go into the kitchen and they cook. Before they went out, they prepared breakfast. They took the breakfast. There might have been an egg. There might have been porridge. There might have been some good tea. Before they go, they have eaten something. When they come back, they prepare a balanced diet. It may not look very appetizing, but it has the things that are needed. Even if it is just githeri, where are the men to be served? And I'm not talking about all the men. I'm only talking about this boy child that I'm feeling so sorry for, that my heart is going out for. This boy child who is sticking somewhere going hungry and then dying. The women will also be in the kitchen for dinner. So what are you missing when you are out there? You are missing the very basic, very, very basic. Remember what we were taught by our teachers as early as in primary school about a balanced diet. And I feel that this is where the secret is. That men, boy child, they are not eating a balanced diet. What are carbohydrates? Carbohydrates are the sources of food that give our bodies energy. We have got the grains, like the rice, like the maize. We have noodles, we have ugali, and such other things. These carbohydrates, starchy foods, sugary foods, they are the ones that give us energy. Imagine, you don't eat. Do you have the energy? You don't have the energy. About 20% of the energy that we take goes to the brain, which means that we need energy in our brains so that we can be able to think right, so that our mood is not affected. We need to keep the energy levels up. If we do not keep those energy levels up, we find ourselves not able to think. We are having a problem and we are trying to think it out, but our brain does not have that energy. And therefore we are slowing down so much. Whenever we have a problem as the boy children, we do not want to dwell deep in that problem. To be healthy, not only physically, we should be healthy mentally, and that one we have neglected. The carbohydrates also help you so that when you go to do manual work, for example, you have been given casual work on a farm, you have that energy to work without exhaustion. Some of the boy children are preferring work that is light. They are preferring work like a few hours and then you give them money because their bodies cannot take that hard work for 8 hours because it doesn't have energy. Sometimes you do not even have energy to get home. The proteins, our next class. This comes from all kinds of meat. For example, we have the fish, we have other seafood, we have lamb, we have beef, we have chicken, we also have got the eggs, we have the dairy products, we also have the beans and other legumes. They give us protein. The function of the proteins, body building, repairing the body so that healthy tissues are maintained. If we need repair in our bodies and we don't have the proteins, and by the way, proteins are very expensive, if you note that. Proteins are very expensive, but we can grow beans, we can keep chicken, we can have cows. Those who are up country, not the ones who are in the city. Those who are in the city, they have to know a way of getting those proteins, to give them a priority. Because tissues in our body, they get damaged. Even our blood cells, the old blood cells, they die out. Our skin, sometimes our skin dries, and those dry cells, they are dead. They fall out. We need to replace not only what I have mentioned, many cells in our bodies, they die out, and then they are flushed out of the system. What repairs your body? Because just like a car needs repair, your bicycle needs repair, your house needs repair, you also need to be repaired. What repairs you and who repairs you? Boy child, when was the last time you ate a balanced meal, especially with the proteins? No wonder then we are having so many deaths that are worrying. We also got the vitamins that give us the body immunity. That means they protect us from diseases. Not like all the diseases, but even if they do not protect you from all the diseases, they give you the strength to fight those diseases. Two people can have the same disease that can be a killer, but one who is strong enough with the body resistance and body immunity will be able to fight it because his body is strong. Whereas the other one with weakened immune system will die or will get more sickly because his body system is not fighting what is ailing it. Therefore, the vitamins are very, very important. I remember during COVID-19, how many people died. And they said, if your body immunity was down, if you had another sickness, your immune system would be compromised. That means if you had something else that was affecting you, underlying causes or other underlying diseases, if you had those, then it would affect you more than someone who was healthy and strong. Myself, I would consider a boy child who is onto drugs and who is onto alcohol, and someone who has neglected a healthy diet to have compromised immunity. I would consider that as an underlying condition. And this is why we find that they are dying when they get another sickness because of the underlying condition. 35 men have died. Only 3 women have died. in the same time period, because the underlying condition of alcohol, drugs, and abuse, and not having a balanced diet, it has taken their toll, and they can no longer fight any sickness that comes. You get it from fruits, the vitamins. You get it from vegetables. We have some of the natural vegetables that are very good. We have even the common cabbage that we eat. We have the carrots. We have the fruits. Hey, a good serving of fruits. Our boy children, are they getting it? No wonder their immunity is down. We have water that is very important in the body. Some of the functions of water is the regulation of the body temperature. And we know that a big fraction of water makes up our bodies. That's why when you find that like someone is dehydrated, like where there is famine, you find that the body completely loses the muscle and the fat, and then it shrinks because the water has gone out. You're even not to someone who is maybe vomiting or someone who is having diarrhea, they also get dehydrated because they are taking out the water in the body. So water is very important. The carbohydrates, the vitamins, the proteins, the minerals, they need to be transported to various organs in the body, because even those organs need water, they need to be hydrated. And then the same water is used for the removal of the waste products, because we as human beings, there is waste product that comes out, and when you are dehydrated, sometimes you may not even have something to urinate if you have not been eating properly or drinking even enough water. So we need to take care of ourselves. So why did we say the boy child is courting death? For sure, we are the one who is going looking for death. The first thing is when we refuse to eat, or when we think food is not important, when we think that drugs and alcohol and other things are more important than food. Those substances, they do not go into the digestive system to help. Mostly they'll go to the head, that's why you feel high. They'll go to the heart, that's why it will start beating faster. They'll go to lungs, like when you smoke. They'll go into the liver, because the liver is the one that metabolizes all those chemicals that are there in whatever you are taking. So it is like a sieve. It is like when you're making tea and it is trying to take care of the waste. But this waste, sometimes it is something that will harm the liver and also the kidneys. They'll get rid of the waste. Therefore, these chemicals that you're taking, it's not food, and it is not helping you. And it will not help to give you strength. If anything, it is taking out. What you have taken, it is taking out. Because whatever you take, it's also making you lazy, so that you are not even able to do the next task of looking for the next source of food. Let's get jobs, because boy children, you have refused jobs. When you think you are safe because you are not working, you are not safe. When you don't work, you don't reserve that energy. Actually, you lose. Your body weakens. Just like an athlete. An athlete, he practices and he goes through very tedious activity so that he can build his muscles, he can build his bones, and also build the mental health and the mental capacity. The same way that we should use those foods to do some physical work. It does not matter whether it is mental, like when you are in an office and you are managing the office and you're doing things in the office, and it does not also matter if it is on the farm, so long as you do some work. So our boy children, some of them, not everybody, they have refused to work. And this is why I said previously that they are sitting together, congregating together, staying there whole day and refusing to work. That is one way of courting death. When you refuse to work, you will also refuse to help, because we may say work as something that gives you an income. But what about if you don't have work that gives you an income? There are things that can be done at home There is a way you can help you in your home. There is a way you can be part of your home and part of your family. For example, here, up country, there is so much work to be done. For example, if I got a boy child here in my home, that boy child, he can help with feeding the cows. He can help with milking the cows. He can help with being on the farm. We have tea. We have other crops that we grow. He can be one of us, and we can see he is active. He is keeping his mind busy. When you do that small work, when you do what you think is not important, it will open a door for something else that is bigger. Because someone will come and say, hey, he is hardworking. Hey, he is a responsible person. Hey, this guy, you can trust him. I love the way he works. If you plant something and then you take care of it from the beginning to the time you harvest, then people will say, he has patience. He is nurturing that thing nicely. They'll admire you. And do you know what happens when a company or when there is a job opening somewhere? The person who was doing small work with a lot of dignity and who was noted by people will be recommended to take over that job. No recommendation will come to a person who stays and sits the whole day. So let's help. Because we are courting death, when we go home, some of the mothers will refuse to feed us. They will refuse to feed us because you have been sitting the whole day. You have not helped in anything. You did not come with food. You did not come with any money. And now you expect, after we have worked so much, to cook for you and to give you food. Do you hear such stories, or am I the only one, Grandma Rose, who hears those stories? Because I hear stories that men are being denied food. Can you ask yourself, like, why am I being denied food? Do you know that there is a verse in the Bible that talks about that? Proverbs 14 verse 23. All hard work brings profit, but mere talk leads only to poverty. Hard work will give you profit. Let's agree to sweat. Let's agree to make our brains work. Let's agree on finding a solution to the problems that we have, so that we work hard even with our brains, because we do not want to end up in poverty. 2 Thessalonians chapter 3 verse 10. This is Apostle Paul, and he is talking to the people, and he is advising them, the Thessalonians. And he said, for even when we were with you, we gave you this rule: the one who is unwilling to work shall not eat. That's very harsh. It sounds very harsh, that those who do not work, they shall not eat. Who was Paul? An apostle. He wrote so many books of the Bible, the New Testament. He went on missionary journeys. And while he traveled, he was making tents. He was a tent maker. And he was selling those tents. And he was making money out of it. And he was contributing to his share of food to the people who are there. And so we ask those words that was said in a hymn. Young men, there is a war that's going on. Get ready and go fight the enemy. Jesus is calling you, young men, to go and fight the enemy. We are also putting ourselves in harm's way, because when we are drunk or when we are high, we are picking fights, and we are fighting with people sometimes who are not drunk. We are also being in the wrong places at the wrong time. We are becoming victims of fraud. We are being promised things because we do not want to work. We want to get rich quickly. And therefore they'll tell you, I have a project, I have a plan, and it is going to give you money. And then you jump in. And then you end up being more miserable and more depressed, and then more into alcohol and drugs. Sometimes you don't have the energy to reach home. I have found boy children lying in the ditches, especially when it is rainy. And it is very, very dangerous because some of them have died in those dishes. If we don't eat properly, our bones will weaken, our joints will weaken, our bodies will start hurting, our teeth will start getting loose before our age. Our mood also changes because we don't have the energy in the brain. There is a time for our bodies to pick up. When we are young, our bodies pick up those nutrients and then they build that body. But there comes a time when your body cannot pick up. You pick up now so that when time comes, what you have picked up will be able to maintain you. So what is the advice to the parents of boy children? Mothers, fathers. What about spouses of boy children? Let me say that families love you, but families are worried. They are worried because if something happens to you, they are the ones who will take care of you. Let me tell you, boy child, that your home remains your home. Even parents would not want to be associated with such boy children. This boy child will not knock on anybody else's door. And if you got someone like that, be it a spouse, be it a son, be it anybody, when he comes home, he is home. Sometimes we are unable to give the love and the care that is needed because we might have invested so much in the boy child, but we have not seen any good results. Let us realize that addiction is a mental sickness. We have to take care of them despite the shortcomings. Feed that boy child. It does not matter on what state he comes home. It matters that he is coming to his home and there is nowhere else where he can go and knock to sleep and to get food. Have a plate for him. Let him know where the food is. You have fed neighbors. You have fed casuals in your home. You have cooked good food for other people. Why are wives washing sufurias and eating early and then saying, we didn't eat, we are sleeping hungry? When we stop caring for the boy child and when he feels that we do not care for him anymore, probably we used to say, don't go now because it's raining. Wait until the rain stops so you don't get wet. Wait for this food to get ready. Eat before you go. Or that shirt is not clean. Come and change it. And then we have given up and we stop caring. We don't ask them. We don't even tell them that they shouldn't go there. And they know. When we stop caring, they also don't care. What will make them change is the love and the care and the concern. When we do that, they are going to change because God is there. And with God, everything is possible. I know it's not an easy journey for you. And I know it is frustrating for you. But where do you want to take your boy child? Where else can he go except your home? When we stop, something will happen. They might disappear. They might kill themselves. The boy child is dying much faster than the girl child. The homes that we visit, even for elderly women, most women have been left without husbands. Let's prevent that by having a good diet. Let's stop that by choosing a healthy lifestyle. Let's do that by connecting with family, connecting with people who care about us, and connecting mostly with God. This fight, we are fighting it together with the people that love you, with Grandma Rose. And I'm telling you, God being there, we win it. We come to the end of the program. Please follow, like, and subscribe.